Evening, y'all. I think I'm gonna have Andrea or Tammy is gonna be sharing their screen, or am I sharing my screen? Sorry for the. Tammy's looking at me like she doesn't know what I'm talking about, so I will share my screen. I'm gonna be just giving some brief instructions in Spanish for everyone that's on here that doesn't speak Spanish, so just bear with us for a moment. Buenas noches a todos. Estoy compartiendo mi pantalla. Vamos a empezar nuestro evento y tenemos a Topacio que va a estar interpretando por nosotros. So, si quieren entrar al canal en español, va a haber un globo, dependiendo si están en su celular o computadora, para escuchar en el idioma de español. Y también lo voy a poner en el chat. Si tienen alguna duda o pregunta, pueden mandar un mensaje ahí. Pero gracias por estar con nosotros esta noche. Cheryl, I will pass it over to you, and I'll stop sharing. Cheryl, you're muted.
Thank you. I did not want to have any distortion so that everyone could hear. So again, thank you. My name is Cheryl Hudson Jackson, and I'm the Director of Franchise and Business Development at the YWCA Metropolitan Chicago. I'd like to welcome everyone to Lake County Rising 2022. We rise to respect, have grace, and act with kindness. So thank you for joining us this evening. I'm extraordinarily proud to be the MC of this evening's event. This past year has been so challenging for many. As we move through this program this evening, it is my hope that you will embrace the examples of how we persevere and cultivate new opportunities to respect each other, show grace, and act with kindness. Before we begin this evening, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Lake County State's Attorney Office in partnership with Nicasa Behavioral Health Services, the College of Lake County Women's Outreach and Programs, Mano a Mano Family Resource Center, A Safe Place, Z Center, and YWCA Metropolitan Chicago. For all you who are following us on social media and those who would like to talk and advertise about how wonderful this event has been and is meaningful for you, we have a couple of hashtags. So stay in there with me. I think they're going to put some in the actual chat for you. I'm going to read them off to you so that you can grab them and use them as you wish. So tonight's hashtags are hashtag sexual assault awareness, hashtag violence against women, hashtag violence prevention, hashtag sexual violence, hashtag sexual abuse, and hashtag Lake County Rising 2022. And now I'd like to introduce Eric Reinhardt, Lake County State's Attorney. Here's a little something about Eric. He fought for his clients in the courtrooms of Illinois for the last 18 years, whether the case was in front of a jury, the appellate court, or even the Supreme Court. He never stopped fighting for what he believes in, which is equal and justice treatment under the law. As our Lake County State's Attorney, he fights for all Lake County families to make our beautiful county safer and fairer for all people, regardless of race, class, gender, or sexual orientation. He was raised in a small town. His parents are teachers, and from them, he learned that everyone must be treated equally and that America's sacred mission is to provide a political, economic, and legal system that allows anyone to prosper regardless of their circumstances. It is my honor to introduce to you our state's attorney, Eric Reinhardt.
Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. Cheryl, can you hear me okay? Is everything coming through? Okay, great. Thank you everyone for joining us Thank you for everyone joining us tonight. This is a very special night. It's one of my favorite events that I get to do as state's attorney. It's only my second one, but it's been an amazing year since the last one, and to watch everybody work so hard to come up with a great program for tonight is exciting, because it's about something that's so important. It's about that thing inside of all of us that must be treated equally, that must be respected at all times, and that should never be subjected to violence, abuse, coercion, or intimidation of any kind. And that's what tonight is about. How can we come together as a community to do better? How can we come together as a community to strive with everything we can to protect, support, and help those who need us, who need an entire community, an entire justice system? The Lake County State's Attorney's Office joins the global demand for an end to violence, coercion, and exploitation. The women and men of our office work tirelessly to end violence here in Lake County by supporting survivors, educating the public, and seeking justice in our courtrooms. We hope that through events like tonight, we can tell each and every survivor that an entire community supports you, that every police officer will respond to your call, that every prosecutor will hear your need for action, and that every community group, school, business, and church will help you rise up in respect, grace, and kindness. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, including Mano a Mano, A Safe Place, the Z Center, Nicasa, CLC Women's Outreach Committee, and the YWC of Metropolitan Chicago. These groups are the support that not only our survivors need, but also the beacon to an entire community that there is more to do in this struggle against the causes of violence and coercion. We have seen how the cycles of violence perpetuate themselves and ripple throughout families, communities, and even at the very soul of the individual. We know that while most survivors, of course, do not become offenders themselves, many offenders have been victimized in their past. In this way, each act of violence threatens all of us because of the damage it can cause. But that is why we must increase and amplify our respect, grace, and kindness for because each and every act we perform to help, to heal, or even to just listen ripples outward in a positive way. Our office is increasing outreach, expanding education, listening better to the voices of the survivors so that we can better serve all of the residents of Lake County. We've added more victim witness counselors, diversified the languages spoken in our office, and we are working every day to make sure that we connect with every victim, regardless of anything else about them. I urge everyone here to contact one of the groups that I've mentioned, and one of the groups that some of the groups you'll learn about tonight. See how you can volunteer and support our partners who work tirelessly and sometimes thanklessly in this field. I urge everyone to learn about legislation in Springfield or Washington, D.C. that impacts this struggle to end violence, coercion, and exploitation. I urge everyone here to learn about a school program that can do so much to teach our youth about how to respect others. There is so much to do and so many different ways to get involved. Thank you for getting involved tonight. And thank you to each and every one of you for listening tonight and for your work to bring respect, grace, and kindness to each and every person in Lake County. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Those words were so impactful and they were so on point. There is such a great community here in Lake County to do more. And if you are motivated by tonight's event and want to get involved, again, all of the organizations that Eric had mentioned in his presentation, we will make sure that you see them at the end of tonight's event so that you can lean in, do what you can, and make a difference. So when you talk about Lake County Rising, you always have to think about, there's this lady that's always talking about it. She's always at the forefront. Yeah, this lady is on everyone's mind, and her name is Judy Armstrong. She retired as the president of the Round Lake School Area Educational Foundation. Judy has served as the Round Lake Beach Village trustee for 8 years and has been an officer and a volunteer on numerous boards and organizations throughout Lake County. She's a proud recipient of the YWCA Women of Achievement Award, the Joyce Fitzgerald Award for a safe place and the Illinois Board of Education, Those Who Excel Excellence Award. But most importantly, she's the founder of the Lake County Rising. For the last 8 years, she has passionately assembled leaders in our community to bring awareness and demanding the end of violence against women. It is with my great admiration to introduce her to you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Judy Armstrong.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for those very kind words. You know, I was asked tonight to talk about respect, and I am 71 years old, and at my age, you cannot think about the word respect without thinking about Aretha. Thanks to Jennifer Hudson in the 2021 movie, lots of younger people know about the song too, and you heard it tonight as you were waiting. I can't sing it, but at home you could. I'll read it. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take care. TCB. I'm grateful to the singers who perform it and grateful to Otis Redding, the man who wrote those powerful words. Both the man who wrote them and the women who often sing them not only entertain, the lyrics make us think. They challenge us to understand that to truly respect one another, we have to consider, what does respect mean? I invite you to share in the chat box as I'm talking what respect means to you as I share a few thoughts. I had to reflect and do a little research in order to get ready to do this, and I looked up the meaning of the word respect. I believe #respect incorporates all three of the meanings that were shown in the dictionary. #respect is how we TCB, take care of business. Respect meaning number one, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something that is elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. I respect performers like Aretha and Jennifer Hudson, Carole King, lots of others for their talent. I respect Emily Dickinson, Judith Forrest, Amanda Gorman for their poetry. I respect leaders like Barack Obama and John McCain, who had respectfully different viewpoints, but recognized and celebrated their common beliefs. I respect leaders for their knowledge, doctors for their expertise, law enforcement for their dedication and bravery. I respect teachers for sharing their knowledge with all of our children. But respecting public and historical figures is really the low-hanging fruit. We need to think about what respect means to us and to those around us. We need to examine who we respect for their abilities, their qualities, their achievements. And we need to do a careful self-inventory and self-examination of what our abilities and talents are in the same way. Respect meaning number two, due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Now, we've all learned the golden rule that we should do unto others as they do unto us. In the past decades, however, there's a new rule that's been incorporated, and that is to do unto others as they wish you to do to them. When we treat others as they wish to be treated, in this vastly multicultural world of ours, we give the respect that we would appreciate for ourselves. We must accept respect that comes to us, but we must give the respect that others expect for their culture and for themselves. I think that Christian scripture best captures this concept from 1 Peter when he writes, honor everyone, love humanity. We have to learn to embrace the fullness and wonder of all human beings, and at the same time understand there is a greater power that calls us to a greater standard. The standard of #respect requires that from within our hearts, we respect ourselves equally with others. As a child of an abusive alcoholic, I thought every bad thing that happened in my home and in my world was my fault. Then I read a line from Max Ehrmann's Desiderata. Beyond a wholesome discipline, go gently with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and stars. You have a right to be here. That was written in 1927, but liberated my soul sometime in the early 60s. The entire poem is a testimony to the right of every human being to exist and to be happy. Respect meaning number 3, a particular aspect, point, or detail, as when we say in this respect. Again, it's a line from the Bible that I think uses this word in a way that leads to #respect. It reads, in everything you do, set an example of doing what is good, showing integrity, seriousness, dignity, and courtesy. We want to build a society that values others and values ourselves. Valuing others and ourselves means giving #respect and earning #respect. How do we do that? In building a successful country, we have to have people who contribute to a climate of mutual respect. We have to stop violence, work on understanding. We must move through our homes, community, country, and world with an assumption and understanding that every person around us has value. That intrinsic right to exist that Ehrmann referred to in Desiderata. We must apply the principles of St. Francis of Assisi, who tells us, first, seek to understand. How, you might wonder, do we do that when living with abuse? My older brothers and sisters were leaving a home when I was age 3 to 8. So I was raised pretty much like an only child during the years that my father's abuse were becoming more and more severe. I had few people to talk with, but I had books, my mother who taught me about God, and I knew that he was there too. These brought me to a greater understanding of life and helped me learn how to get through it, how to improve myself, and how to move forward. My conclusions about living in a culture of abuse: when you are in a horrible situation, you must respect yourself enough to make the hard choices, to find the help you need, whether it's in religion, in books, in friends, or in any of the wonderful agencies that we've talked about tonight that exist here in Lake County to help you. As Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. Live out the full meaning of respect, appreciating the talents and abilities of others, but never selling yourself short. Give due regard to the rights, traditions, customs, and standards of everyone that you come in touch with, including yourself. Do it with a sense of excellence and integrity and dignity. Move forward, rising to #respect. It will have challenges and pain and ultimate glory for people who choose to respect themselves, do good works in respecting others, and live by those standards of excellence. Most of all, whatever faith, whatever religion, whatever beliefs you hold, respect the universe that made us all, guides us, and spurs us on to help one another. We are here for each other, and together we rise to #respect. Thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we are in for such a big treat. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the Ghostlight Readers Theater. It is an extracurricular program at Round Lake High School that celebrates the spoken word. Ghostlight is a perfect example of living #respect. Looks like we're all queued up. It's my honor to welcome Ghostlight Readers Theater to Rising 2022.
Respect your elders.
Respect your parents.
Respect your teachers.
Respect your partner.
Respect your body.
Respect your mind.
Respect yourself.
Respect yourself by making sure your voice is heard. Respect others by listening to what they have to say.
Respect others by not interrupting, and respect yourself by...
Excuse me, I'm speaking. If people interrupt or speak over you, they're either excited or agitated. They want to be heard. They may need to make a point. They may want to sound smart. They might need to prove something to themselves or to others in the room. Or maybe they were just raised that way. Notice anything here? Their behavior is about them, not you.
But respectfully reclaiming your time will say more about you than words could ever do.
It wasn't always easy for me to be gracious to others because I grew up believing the do unto others as they do unto you. This meant that if a person was mean or disrespectful in any way, that I should dish out the same treatment to them. I also believed that revenge was a dish best served cold.
Showing grace to others isn't hard. It's not a complicated 10-step method. When we show grace to others, it's about showing kindness to someone else even when they don't deserve it.
Grace isn't seen in the way you enter a room. It is entering a room without the need of a spotlight because you are radiant from within. And grace isn't seen in the way you leave. It is knowing when something is over and that it is time to let go and walk away without denying its value.
On the grand scale of things, it is choosing to act positively towards someone who might even hate the sight of you or have done wrong to you in the past. Grace is going out of your way to give your compassion, kindness, and love to someone even if they might not appreciate it or return the favor.
Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
Remember, there's no such thing as a small act of kindness. Every act creates a ripple with no logical end.
You never really know the true impact you have on those around you. You never know how much someone needed that smile you gave them. You never know how much your kindness turned someone's life around. You never know how much someone needed that long hug or deep talk. So don't wait to be kind. Don't wait for someone else to be kind first. Don't wait for better circumstances for someone to change. Just be kind because you never know how much someone needs it.
Sometimes it takes only one act of kindness and caring to change someone's life.
So be kind to others.
And be kind to yourself.
We have the power to raise each other up.
We have the power to raise ourselves up.
And together we will rise.
And together we will rise.
And together we rise.
And together we will rise.
And together we will rise.
And together we will rise.
Wow, that was fantastic. Thank you, Round Lake Ghostlight Readers Theater, for actually putting this piece together. It was fun to give them these ideas and just be blown away with what they were able to do. They put that together on their own. And so again, thank you so much to the students. Thank you, Justin, who happens to be their teacher and their mentor. They do such beautiful work. And it really complemented exactly what you were saying, Judy, exactly what you're thinking and sharing with us. So again, first of all, just thank you for all that you've done and bringing us together as well as being very intentional with your words around the word respect. Our next presenter is the chairperson of our Lake County Rising 2022, and her name is Sandra Bankston. She's a graduate of Lake Forest College. Go Foresters! Woo! With a Bachelor's of Arts degree in politics and in sociology and anthropology. So with a Master's of Social Work from Loyola University, Sandra serves as a victim advocate with Lake County State's Attorney's Office, and she's been doing it for 25 years. She looks so young. 25 years working with children in the context of being victims of sexual abuse and severe physical abuse, adult sexual assault victims, as well as victims of general felonies. And so currently she is the founding therapist in a program being initiated by the State's Attorney's Office to provide treatment for individuals who have experienced multiple victimizations. Additionally, Sandra is an adjunct professor at Dominican University Graduate School of Social Work, teaching policy, interpersonal violence, and community practice courses. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a community member, she's just an all-around fantastic person, and she was a wonderful chairperson. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, Sandra Bankston.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it very much. And welcome. It's great to see everyone this evening. So when we were planning, I was assigned to speak on the word grace. And I accepted it eagerly. And being gracious, whose root is grace, comes easily to me, was my thought. And then reality set in. I have to work to extend grace. Too often, I'm guilty of flying off the handle, jumping to conclusions, making assumptions, and allowing these feelings and emotions to dictate how I respond to others. And dare I say, I suspect I'm not by myself with that. Over 20 years ago, probably actually closer to 30 years ago, I answered the phone in the office where I worked. The caller asked a question and I gave an answer. This was an intern in our office, and our conversation was a bit frustrating. I felt that the information I was conveying was pretty simple to understand. So when I transferred her, I said to the recipient of the call, "So-and-so is on the phone. She's an idiot." And then I hear the words, "I am not an idiot." Oh my God. I was mortified. I apologized profusely because I had not transferred the call correctly and she was still on the phone. Not only did she accept my apology and forgive me, we later became, and to this date, we still are, friends. That, my friends, is grace. And let me tell you, the grace that she extended to me was far more impactful than any snarky or mean retort that she could have justifiably flung in my direction. So much so that here it is, 20 plus, close to 30 years, my behavior still brings me to shame. And her response, her grace that she extended to me, still warms my heart with gratitude for the grace that she extended. The last few years have highlighted the lack of respect, the lack of grace, the lack of kindness. The height of incivility has been seen in our society. Tensions have risen, and groups with different backgrounds or different ideologies have become more and more polarized. As we come together on this annual event, we're really going back to the basics, excuse me. Hashtag respect, hashtag grace, hashtag kindness. I rise to grace, GRACE. Giving regard, respect, and compassion to everyone as one step to help dismantle misunderstandings and bring healing in our world. As we consider the future of our world and look for ways to end violence against women and indeed violence against everyone, I'm really heartened and encouraged. Lake County Rising's essay and poem contest resulted in words of young minds that give hope for the future of our world and our community specifically. Tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Sophia Kobda, our essay contest winner. Thank you so much and welcome, Sophia.
Hi, my name is Sophia Kobda and I go to Wakanda High School. I wrote this essay because I wanted to bring light to one of the most overlooked issues in our society. In modern day, people often associate silence with ignorance and fragility. There is stigma around the fact that many are not able to come forward with their struggles. Outsiders attest this to a lack of personal strength, rather than stepping forward and offering a voice to those otherwise unheard. Rising on behalf of someone else does not necessarily entail creating a headstrong defense against an obstacle that they face. To rise does not mean to cover, but rather to uphold. One can support and embrace a friend in need without forcing them outside of their comfort zone or shadowing them in pity. In today's society, everyone can rise on behalf of someone else in the simplest of ways. Oftentimes, all that is necessary is offering a kind word or reminding them that they are never truly alone. Things like respect, grace, and kindness tie into this because they are necessary to keep in mind when aiding someone. Just because someone is in need while another may not be does not mean that one person deserves less respect. Remembering that struggle does not make us weak, but rather incredibly strong is crucial to maintaining a respectful environment. The destruction caused by a storm can be scarring and something that stays with a person forever, but learning to mend the damage is more important than dwelling on where it came from. Instead of giving power to what happened, we should focus on what can be reclaimed. Though mending wounds takes time and the path is never linear, every once in a while a stitch might rip open, and that is perfectly fine. Rising is difficult, and allowing someone to take the time that they need to cope, no matter the circumstances, is one of the most respectful things that can be done. We are all human, all the same, no matter what we have, how we look, or who we are. All people are equal, and we must treat each other as such. Grace is understanding the boundaries set in a situation and listening when someone asks for help rather than forcing it on them when it may seem fit. To rise for another, you must have the self-control to stand back and offer love and kindness whilst allowing someone to rise for themselves. Kindness correlates to both of these concepts because giving someone your respect and acting with grace are two of the most crucial pieces of being kind. So is being kind to oneself and remembering that while life does not always go as planned, there is beauty on the other side. So long as you have faith in who you are, you will be able to achieve greatness. In order to rise for others, you must first learn to love yourself. You must first learn that while it may take time to find your words, a temporary silence does not equate to a permanent vulnerability. In order to rise for others, you must first learn to rise for yourself.
Wonderful job, Sophia. That was really impactful. It's amazing of what you were able to put in an essay and how wise you are with your words. That was fantastic. And Sandra, thank you for that wonderful example of grace. And as you operate through your everyday, we're being very mindful of being gracious. You definitely are a walking representation of that word. Our next presenter is Debbie Lear, and she is the Senior Director of the Treatment, Recovery, Enhancement, and Expansion Program at Nicasa's Behavioral Health Services. And that whole entire thing says TREAT, because that's what the acronym is. Initially, let me tell you a little bit about Debbie. She was hired as an adult counselor, and for the past 30 years, she has transitioned through many positions at Nicasa. She's supervised youth services. She's been at the Bridge House. She's done a myriad of things. But currently, she, as I shared before, she oversees the TREE program, which is the enhancement and expansion of treatment and recovery services for transitional age youth between the ages of 18 and 25, as well as their families. As you can see, Debbie is known for wearing many hats in her organization and being so very helpful in the community. And she often states in Nicasa that she wants to be a messenger of change. She is a member of our Lake County Rising Planning Committee, and she's an inspiration to many. And she is my friend, and I want to introduce to you this evening, Ms. Debbie Lear.
Cheryl, thank you so much for your kind words. That was really, really sweet. So I have always loved the word in actions of kindness. I have read and thought that kindness is the understanding that all of us struggle. We all have some kind of challenges in our lives. And I know that sometimes a kind word or a smile is everything to someone in need, and no act of kindness, regardless of how small, is ever wasted. When we discussed respect and grace and kindness, I was drawn to kindness because it's a word of an action that I am most aware of. A smile or a kind word goes the distance and is a gift that everyone can afford to give. I frequently see people who are nervous or anxious or having a rough day, and I feel the need to want to do something. So, and I suspect the actions of the past 2+ years have not really helped matters. So I often think, oh, wow, a simple smile or a kind word really makes a difference. And I know for myself that when I've had a difficult day or challenges and someone smiles at me or says, hello, how are you doing? It really does brighten my day, which sounds corny, but it's true. Kindness is about considering of the other person, being thoughtful, and offering goodwill. To me, kindness is love in action, and so easy to do, but we frequently forget how easy it really is. Tonight, I challenge you and encourage you to be the person that makes a difference, not just to be kind to other people, but don't forget about yourself. So thank you. And I have the distinct honor of introducing Goldie Hamburg, a high school student from Highland Park High School, who will be reading her poem. Goldie, take it away.
Hello, I'm Goldie, and this is my poem, When No One Was Looking. Rise like the day, rise unafraid, in spite of the ache 1,000 times again. Lend every fibered fingertip on each helping hand, and I will rise up. Stand up by putting your figure in the way of bigotry with dignity and courage. Expect the bull to charge, but you'll rise up. Stand up with the unspoken when humanity calls for action. Own empathy in these breathlessly hard times so others can rise up. Search your privilege. Make that insight your strength, your superpower, your vision. Shine bright headlights on the underrepresented and they'll rise up. Reject narratives casting mothers, daughters, sisters as destined victims. Reverse stigma. Make shelter a haven and a new beginning to rise up. Friend the disabled and accommodate to your best abilities because when given and gifting second chances, we learn from our mistakes and rise up. I won't dare sit down until I speak with body and soul in unison, till my actions radiate grace and compassion. To make us stronger, we'll rise up.
Wow. You know, Goldie, I was listening to the poem and I have decided that we need to just take the poem and put it on paper and give it to everyone, because your poem is now the new golden rule, the new golden standard of how we need to be and should be. So thank you for putting pen to paper and reminding us it doesn't take much, but we need to be committed. And Debbie, thank you for those kind words. I have to throw kind right back to you. You are all that in a bag of chips. We're getting ready to transition to our last presenter of the evening, but he's no stranger to this event. If you've been to any of our Lake County Rising events, you know this dude is always there with a helping hand and encouraging us. And I think actually Bruce has probably been at this event from its inception. I mean, I think I've seen him at every one of them. So I'm introducing Bruce Johnson. He is presently the Chief Executive Officer of Nicasa Behavioral Health Services and has led this organization for over 16 years. He's nationally recognized as a leader in the field of substance abuse prevention, treatment, and he's a retired chief of police. Who knew? He is the past chair of the Lake County Underage Drinking and Drug Prevention Task Force, the co-founder of the Lake County Opioid Initiative. He is the founder of Mono Family Resource Center, where he also served as a board president. He's an adjunct professor, a consultant, a trainer, subject matter expert for several institutions, and definitely thanking you always for your service. He had served 28 years in the United States Marine Corps. I mean, this guy is if I could change the words to Shaka Khan's song, I'm Every Woman, I think I would make it I'm Every Man and actually just have a picture of you out there because you are that dude, you are that guy. And we thank you always for supporting this organization. And so without further ado, I am introducing to you this evening, Bruce Johnson.
Thank you, Cheryl. You are way too kind and too sweet. And for all that you do and for tonight, can we give you a big round of applause? You are amazing. So I am just so fortunate to have been involved with Lake County Rising since its inception in 2012. I cannot believe that all this time has passed and we still are getting together to rise. Since that time in 2012, really, all the things that have happened, we've provided education and insight, meaningful expressions of dance and art and language, like we heard tonight, resources, reflection, inspiration, support, and for many, healing. And every year I'm always filled with a mix of emotions. And some of those include sadness for what happens daily to women and children in our communities and in a bigger picture throughout the world, and empathy for those who are harmed, and ultimately hope and a stronger will to rise by what happens here each and every year on these nights that all of us rise. All of us gathered here willing to rise is nothing less than inspiring. Listening to everyone here tonight, our wonderful state's attorney, Eric Reinhardt, and his message of compassion and care and the tireless work of his office and the programs that he's bringing to Lake County, truly inspiring. Judy Armstrong, you know what? I can't say enough. And those of you that know me and have heard me talk about Judy, I could probably go on till next year on all the reasons why I love her and all the reasons why I respect her, but why she rises to respect herself and others, inspiring for all of us to do exactly the same. Judy, you are a shining example of respect. And then the performance by our Round Lake Ghostlight Readers Theater. Wow, was that awesome. I mean, really amazing. So impactful. I loved it. That spoken word is an art and truly impactful. And then Sandra Bankston, our wonderful Lake County Rising Chair, and why and how she rises with grace and inspires us all to do the same. Sandra, you are a shining example of grace. And then Sophia, our essay contest winner from Wakanda High School, who spoke beautifully about rising for yourself and others with respect, kindness, and grace. Really wonderful. And then Debbie Lear, who I'm a little bit partial to, I'm blessed to work with Debbie on a daily basis, and why she rises with and for the gift of kindness and inspires us all to do the same. Debbie, you know, you listen to her talk about kindness and why it means something to her, but truly she's the queen of kindness, and she shows acts of kindness every day. Most of you, if you know Debbie, you've probably gotten a handwritten letter at some point, a note, a card, something that says she's thinking about you, something that's supportive, something that, you know, really is from her heart. And she does that each and every day. So thank you, Debbie. And then Goldie, our poem contest winner from Highland Park High School, and how to rise up for others. Beautifully said. Absolutely beautiful and inspiring. So my goal was to talk a little bit about, you know, what we've witnessed tonight, what we've heard, and reflect on the words and thoughts that were shared, you know, so perfectly and eloquently by all of the speakers. I know that each one of us, because of this inspiration, will continue to rise with respect and grace and kindness for ourselves and others. And I loved that throughout, that was a constant theme about loving, respecting, giving grace and kindness to ourselves, as well as others. But I also think that knowing that we're here tonight, we're also part of a much larger movement, a part of 1 Billion Rising, the biggest mass action to end violence against women in human history. And for that, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and rising together with all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. That was such a great way of summing up and bringing everything together. This has been a fantastic evening. It's been a touching one, and it's been a hopeful one, which is so important because we need hope, we need energy, we need focus, we need all of you on today's event here and those who will be listening to this as it's being recorded time and time again. I think this has been a very inspirational moment in time for us, and I really believe that we are, like the butterfly effect, changing the world, just a corner, a little switch to the left, to the right, to make it better. And I'm so excited to have said that this, in my opinion, has been one of the most touching events that I've been a part of that's been virtual. And you can feel the energy and the love and respect through the screen. At least I feel that way, and I hope that is being emoted to you as well. So as we are coming to the end of our program, I just want to do a little housekeeping again by thanking our sponsors, Lake County State's Attorney Office in partnership with Nicasa Behavioral Health Services, the College of Lake County Women's Outreach Programs, Mano Mano Family Resource Center, A Safe Place, Z Center, YWCA, Metropolitan Chicago. I want to thank the outstanding Lake County Rising Planning Committee, Judy Armstrong, Sandy Banks, and Sarah Brin, Tanny Burns, Stephanie Escarba, Celeste Flores, Debbie Lear, and filling Andrea Miller, Jackie, and you know, Jackie, I screw up your name, so I'm gonna just say, if I say it really fast, then maybe you might not know that I'm going to wreck it. Hurry, Aligan. As well as our wonderful translator this evening. And I'm going to also beg for forgiveness while I was at Topacio. I did probably kill your first name, but Ms. Hernandez, you did a beautiful job translating everything that we had said this evening to our Spanish-speaking community. And with that, I also would like to acknowledge the Lake County high schools who participated in our essay and poem contest. They were Zion Benton Township High School, Wakanda High School, Waukegan High School, Crystal Ray St. Martin College Prep, and Highland Park High School. And With all that being said, I'd like to thank you, our Lake County community who rises against violence against women and stand up for respect, grace, and kindness. We will end tonight's presentation with a slideshow sharing moments of the past 8 years of Lake County Rising. For those of you who would like to connect with any of the committee to discuss or share or get resources, we will stay on after the slideshow to talk to you. We will make available private breakout rooms for your convenience. So before we start the slideshow, I just want to say on the behalf of Lake County Rising 2022 Planning Committee, I am Cheryl Hudson Jackson, respectfully leaving you with grace, kindness, good night, and be safe.
But I got to tell you before I go, you're all amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Back at you.
Good night.
Good
night, everyone.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, and congratulations again to our contest winners.
Absolutely. They were dynamite.
Yes.
Thank you to Sandra and the planning committee. Great job.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the continued support. Just as a reminder, if there is anyone who remained on because they had questions or concerns, you can certainly put a message in the chat, or if you'd like to do so privately. My name is Sandra Bankston, and we can certainly make a breakout room available if there was some update or concern that you had or information that you need.